All right. So I want to say something about Julie. By the way, give it up for Julie one more time. Woo! You guys, I joined in 2019. So I was just like this whole time, I've been behind my phone on social media. I'll talk to anybody on social, but going to talk to
She's
someone.
like antisocial. We go to like like our church stuff or neighborhood stuff. She doesn't want to talk to anybody. You guys.
I'm shy. I don't know. I'm just like shy. He's so good at talking to people, but I need to be like Julie. And I want to go talk to literally everybody because Prism is a movement. Are you going to just hear about it? Or are you going to be a part of it? Right? So, woo. So lately, what I've been doing is I've been bringing my Prism to the gym because I go to the gym a lot. Sometimes I don't take it out, but I get these pings like, go talk to that girl, go talk to that guy. And I get so shy in person, but literally I'm going to embrace my inner Julie and I am going to have that Prism with me, the grocery store, everywhere I go, because we got to get loud, you guys. We got to get bold. We got to get uncomfortable and we got to tell everybody because if your customers, if your friends don't hear about Prism from you, they're going to hear about it from someone else.
Yeah. All right. So I want to introduce our next speaker. So this is easily the smartest person in the room and also the most humble person in the room. Every time I've met this person, he has so much humility and he's someone that I admire and look up to. And he comes up to me and compliments me and makes me feel good about myself. And so this is Dr. Ben Lo. So he has a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering, you guys, from MIT. What? That's just an incredible accomplishment right there. He's also a medical doctor and studied at Columbia University in New York City, extremely prestigious university. He actually practiced as a family care and home birthing doctor, helping with delivering over 500 babies. And he chose Nu Skin over this prestigious career where he had years and years and years of education, and I'm sure did very, very well financially. He chose Nu Skin because of what you see on the picture here, his beautiful family, choosing his family and being able to build the life that he wants for his family. So he is a Blue Diamond, he has Circle of Excellence 1, and a Nourish the Children Ambassador. Let's bring up Dr. Ben Lo.
Thank you. Wow, this is a fun view from up here. So thank you, Nick and Alyssa. And I'm learning from all of you as we go through this journey together. So I want you to lock in for a second because I want to ask you guys a question. So are we locked in? Okay, let me ask you, if you had to choose over the next few minutes, which thing you were going to let go, which thing you were going to let deteriorate over the next few minutes, which would you choose? Your brain, your vision, your heart, your skin, your joints? Which one would you choose to let go? Now, there's a medical model called the triage theory that suggests your body is actually making that decision for you right now. If you're not getting the replenishment and renewal of nutrition to your tissues and your brain and body right now, your body is choosing what to let deteriorate and let go so it can keep you alive right now, but let things kind of go because what happens down the road isn't as important to your body as just keeping you alive right now. How many of you did it just become more important to raise your score and your nutritional level and to put nutrients back in? Okay. And what if it was as easy as just choosing one little healthier item on your plate at some point today, and you could be as simple as adding some nutritious blends that our scientists have formulated that could raise your score and make sure you're getting those nutrients back into your brain and body, and then you could see it and track it on this little device. Would that be worth it to you? Okay, I want to begin and end this now with an idea, and it's one word, and I would write it down or I would see it blinking in your mind. It's the word practice. What we're learning today, how many of you already got some things you could practice when you go back. Or actually, you don't even have to wait till you go back. We can practice today, right? We just saw that from Julie. So we're going to be practicing. And one thing, when I first got my Prism, one of the first situations I was in a room or actually at a free Thanksgiving dinner. And there were a group of people around the table after we'd eaten that I didn't know really well. And of course, it was a social event. But I had this in my bag, and I wanted to bring it out. So I was just kind of asking myself, what is a fun way to transition? And so you want to know what I ended up doing? I just asked a question. So in a moment, I'm going to show you a bunch of questions. But I asked a question. I just said, hey, do you guys want to see something fun? And a number of them are young people. So of course, the answer was yes. What? And so that gave me the opportunity to walk over to my bag and pull it out. Now I don't even have to have it in my bag. Now I do have it in a case to protect it, but I put it in my pocket just now because this is how I started with it. Now, how many of you know as soon as you pull this out and you turn it on and you get those blinking lights, everybody's eyes are on it? Okay. Everybody was interested. And then they immediately wanted to get scored. They were comparing scores. They wanted to know what it meant. And guess what? I got to practice. And I got to see and go from uncomfortability, or what I felt inside, a little bit of awkwardness, how do I bring this up, to actually having fun, seeing their responses, asking questions, and getting to practice. Okay, so you guys getting the idea? What I love is this is now a tool that allows us to do what we've always been meant to do to build our business, which is to talk to people. It makes it so much easier. If you freeze, if you get tongue-tied, just pull it out and turn it on, okay? And then the conversation's gonna start. You guys, you got the idea? So let me go ahead and this is my family. So when we started, we had our first 3 of these now 7 kids. And so it's been quite a journey. And we're so thankful for Nu Skin. It allowed us eventually to move down to Louisville, Kentucky, because this is a portable business. We can do it from anywhere. And so the flexibility really allowed us to do that and to grow our family as we were growing our business. This is a cool slide that I think Elizabeth found online. Someone created it. And just so a nice summary of some of the background and breakthroughs that we have that are leading up to this moment. How many of you in the last few days got really reminded again of how much is beyond this device? Not a toy, but to where we are in this moment. And we're the ones that get to bring this to the world. So let's begin with really creating new subscriptions and partners by asking questions and using your Prism. I have too many slides up here, so some of them are going to go fast, but there's a couple things that you really want to, I know you guys are going to want, so I put a little QR code at the end that you'll be able to grab them, okay? And you can take screenshots. One is just realizing Prism is people's doorway in. Okay. And you're hearing lots of different stories and examples. I think as soon as I'm done, you're going to hear some more. So I just put a couple of things up here, just a reminder that, again, practice, ask questions, be a trusted guide. And how many of you have already experienced a little bit of time release effect of this Prism, that maybe someone didn't seem to respond in the moment, but a day or two later, you get a text, you get a message, they're asking about it, or even like Julie going to their coffee and then coming back. And then they asked her, I want to know more. Tell me more. This is the first time I've actually had people ask me to help them set up an order or set up a subscription even before I could ask them. And so we're seeing more and more things like this where people are responding, and don't get discouraged if at first it seems like someone was resistant. I was at a post-soccer gathering. I played with a bunch of men. They were having beers and chicken wings afterwards. And so I was there as a social event. And I pulled this out thinking they're going to have the same response as these young people pre-Thanksgiving. And a lot of them folded their arms and did not. They shook their heads vehemently. They did not want to get scanned. And then it suddenly dawned on me, because another learning moment for me, another practice, is that they were actually in a moment of wanting to relax and drink their beer and eat their chicken wings. And I was like the principal or the parent who was going to score them, and they didn't want that right then, okay? But one of the gentlemen who was most resistant was right next to me, another dad. We ended up connecting just socially about being dads. The next day, he sends me a text. I did not expect it at all, and started asking me about this device and wanting more information. And it turns out his wife and I think her sister are both in the health field. And he sort of semi-apologized for being kind of skeptical. He says he's always skeptical, but he wanted to know more. And that was just one of multiple examples. So give yourself a chance to just go discover what happens when you start sharing with people. And how many of you, sometimes we have a tendency to judge. Did I do it right? Did that work? workout? Was it a success? Let's lay that aside and just go practice and have fun. We're the first ones getting out there. Let's learn our market, like you heard yesterday from Josh, and start having conversations. Okay. Another reminder, and this was another mentor who just reminded me before I was going to speak in Europe a couple weeks ago. And he just said, reminder is our primary objective. And this helps us too, because how many of you we have this thought, how am I going to get this person? You ever have that thought? How am I going to get this person? But our job is not necessarily to get people. Our job is to find out who actually wants our help, who actually has a desire or a need that we could address and would like our guidance. So that's part of our job. And if we find that out, just like you heard, if you get a stop or you get a no, or I'm not interested, good job. You found out. Okay, so that's our job. And one of the things is to help people, whether it's with our posts. How many of you are knowing we're way beyond the copy paste post era, right? So whether it's our post, our messages, our conversations, is to help people see a new possibility for themselves. And it might be because of the story they see we walked, or that we helped someone else walk, and then start to believe it's possible for them. And then the last part is really key, is invite people to take a step with you. So, and just a reminder too, how many of you have been here long enough to have some past reps or some past customers that you really like, and enjoyed working with, but maybe life, came up, some other things happened. It's not negative, but they're just, they drifted away. Well, this is a great time to reconnect, find out what's going in their life. What do they want to, I love a question from Artemis I heard this week. What would you like to add to your life in 2026? How many of you know when someone really asks you a question and you can tell they're really wanting to know, you all of a sudden feel seen, and the connection is immediately different. And then it starts opening the door. It might not be any more time, but it opens the door to a different level of response and conversation that could lead to inviting them. Would they like to know what's happening now? Something that's really different. And you might share a story, maybe a story that you heard this weekend, and open the door to at least them getting their assessment. Okay. I love this phrase, open-minding. We got it from some of our Vietnamese teams years ago, and they taught us a lot. And we open mind by asking questions. And so these are just some examples of questions. I love, how many of you caught that Ashley yesterday sharing the 3 questions she used over and over again? Pick 1, 2, or maybe 3 questions you can just start getting out in the marketplace and finding out people's response. And so here's a few on here. And then I love at the bottom, this kind of, I like frameworks. One of them, tell me more, or I'm just curious, little phrases you could use in lots of situations. This one at the bottom, once someone shared something with you, where you ask if there were a way to. All right, you heard Buzz share that in a sense. That person asked him, if I could show you a way to get time, if there were a way to, would that be something you'd want to explore? You could fill that in with whatever it is they just shared with you was important, and build a bridge, like Josh said, to opening up a door to a conversation. So that's a powerful phrase I've learned. Another great question that I've learned from Artemis, again, a question you could have in your pocket and could use throughout your business. I've even used this when I am in a prospecting situation or a business meeting, and they're not sure, they're interested in the business, and they actually want to, I make it more personal by asking this question. I realize I want to jump to something else, so I'm going to just share with you the question that Artemis has shared, and then what are your top 3 concerns in that area? I'm going to put it on the screen. The others are optional questions, and then it's still that framework if there are a way to at the bottom. I want to give those questions though, because those are things you could do even if you don't have one of the tools or the forms handy that I have with you. Get good at a question so you can have this conversation in any moment. Okay. A few months ago, this is a little wall in our bathroom. Looks fine on the outside. How many of us know people who work out? They look good, look fine on the outside. But we discovered something on the other side. And guess what? That pipe, it's an iron pipe, is over 100 years old. And by the time we discovered it, because a leak had started, it actually had to be torn out and replaced. So it was a major project. But one of the things to realize is, how many of you know that didn't happen overnight? Okay. But that's what's going on in our brain and bodies silently. Perhaps the biggest silent accelerator of aging is oxidative stress. So I've had some people who are not in the business or their spouse is in the business, but they said this idea of rusting, that we may be rusting on the inside, our brain, our tissues, that catches their attention. And they immediately want to do something. These are men, businessmen, who want to do something to neutralize that rust because they're starting to rust because they're feeling the wear and tear. If you don't have pictures, you can always just talk about an apple turning brown, a nail rusting. That's oxidative stress, and that's what we're measuring. Here is the one-page health assessment, which you'll get on the QR code if you don't have it already. And I made it bigger so you can see the top and bottom of it. Makes it easy. You could pull this out, and the big key is whenever possible to do this before you scan someone. Okay, and have them fill out because it asks them some questions. It makes them think about some of the things, but it also gives you insight into what are their biggest concerns. Have they done something before? Do they have a budget? And it kind of preps them. Here is a scorecard that you're also going to get. Thank you to Christy Wilkins who created this beautiful scorecard. But I love to kind of give the different colors. And I am going to go faster because I want to show you something. And this is another scorecard. I think Artemis put this together. And I love that this actually says an action step. Do you see on red, it says immediate nutritional support. Okay. And so it's giving you like an action step. Two other things I want to highlight. One, when you get your score, the score is actually, because carotenoids don't exist in nature or in our supplements alone, you're always getting other nutrients with them too. As you see that score go up, it really is a reflection of your nutritional health. It's like your nutritional health or levels are going up. And what I love is that raising your levels and your score makes everything else work better. So when people are asking, how many of you had people ask about this health problem, that health problem? A simple answer is let's get your tissue levels up, because getting the nutrition in is going to make everything else work better. You guys got that? That's going to be really key. Now, one of the other great things that I've learned from Artemis is to have a pre-agreement frame. Again, before you scan them, once we see your score, are you open to a 60-day experiment? We chose 60 days because that's the guarantee, all right? To raise your score and optimize your nutritional health in just minutes a day. And then you can even ask. It's on the form, but you could also just ask. You're open to $1 a day, $3 a day, or $5 a day. And then let's go see what your score is. All right, we got to wrap up quick. So then they get their score. One thing I want to highlight even here, even with no words, nothing else, this is just right on the app. But how many of us know what a yellow light is when we see it? It means we need to pay attention, right? Yellow light, pay attention. Red is never good, right? When red goes blinking on your dashboard, that's not good. We don't want to be there. We want to get up into blue and purple. Really easy to kind of help people get a sense so they're interested to see what their score is and then do something about it. Or you can put words on it just like on that scorecard. Sorry, I got to go fast, but all right, that's the same scorecard. 3 simple keys to raise your score. All right, 1, we're going to lower, and I even would have, you can even have one arm going down. We're going to lower oxidative stress. We're going to add natural color to your plate, raise your antioxidants. And we're going to take a scanner certified product or combo in a 60-day experiment. $1 a day, $3 a day, or $5 a day. Whoops, I'm going to fast forward through this. And okay. This is going to be fun. They're all guaranteed to raise your score. Quick reminder, carotenoids need fat to be absorbed. That's why we recommend the Marine Omega, the Optimum Omega, the G3 juice, which has some fat. So Elizabeth's eating avocado with hers. That's helped raise her score. Here's something we just saw. I love this step 1, step 2, step 3. I'm going to close with this. Step 1 is build your foundation. So that's Life Pack Elements, $1 a day, Life Pack at $3 a day, or Life Pack Nano at $5 a day. Step 2, if they want to add longevity, that healthy gene expression renewal, we add age lock youth. Okay, and that's going to add omega-3s as well. Step 3, they can build on then targeted solutions, and 3 core ones, just to keep it simple, they can pick one to start. Is it energy and sexual health? You've got your R² Vitality Day. If it's skin health, you got Collagen Plus. If it's gut and metabolic health, you can add Meta. All right, so very simple. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Dr. Stephen Moore showed that to us, and it makes it very simple. And then you can add, you can take a quick screenshot, all your scanner certified products as of right now. And then I'm going to, I think you guys got it. This is a cool text from Artemis. You guys can take a picture. it's pretty self-explanatory. So I'll just let you guys take a picture of it. But it's just, again, an example of how people are responding to this. And then the final, what we're going to do is practice. All right, thank you.